Greetings, everyone. Hello to Eastern Uganda Permaculture Organization, EUPO, Godfrey, Helen, my friends, colleagues. Stella is there. I wish I could be here with you, but I'm here in spirit, if not in person. This lovely picture behind me is our community garden space, community orchard, food forest in Arkleton in mid Wales. And I'm just thinking about the journey that we've been on together. Well, since I met you, Mama Helen, in 2016, at Kamuli, and Godfrey, 2017. And we've done many things, many things have come from that. So, and I really want to congratulate you. Last year, of course, we did our PDC, and as you know, I had planned to be there, and for obvious reasons, that wasn't quite exactly the case. So we did the best we could, and the outcomes that we've got from that actually are very interesting. And as you remember, we'd spent time really selecting people from all over Uganda, even some people from other countries, to come to Kumi. And then when it came to it, at the last minute, none of that was possible because of the restrictions on travel. And instead, we had a lot of people just coming from Kumi Nyero area. Actually, I'm going to turn that picture off because it's a bit confusing. So I'll switch it off because actually it makes my head look funny. So here we are, back in my messy office. The illusion has shattered. Okay. So instead, we had a much more local course, something different from what we'd planned, and but what we've managed to do is create a cluster of people now in a region with with interest in permaculture. Now, some of the people who came and took part in the course, maybe they hadn't been properly briefed. We didn't have time to recruit, so they haven't really engaged with it. That's fine. We're not going to hit the bullseye every time. What's interesting is the ones that have seem to have really taken and run with it. So this is, I think, for all of us, a very, very interesting thing. Anyway, so we're here, and I've called this meeting. I wanted to draw us all together so that we feel like a team, and that we understand that we still feel like we're working together towards a very ambitious goal of establishing permaculture education and accelerating that as much as we can. As you know, we've had some funding from Arkleton Trust in the UK over a 3-year period, and we're now sort of well into our second year. You guys were the first. There's 3 strands to the project. There's Kumi, there's Homa Bay, Kenya, and there's Save School in Rwanda. Those are our little hubs. But we're also trying to maintain the network of friends and teachers and activists and things in Kampala and everywhere else. So, and we're calling that the Permaculture Academy. We're trying to see that as a network of people and places and the knowledge and the momentum that we've all created by working together, so that we can continue to build our network and learn from working together. So, as far as the Kumi strand of the project is, this is now our chance to reflect on what's been achieved in this period, and to really capture some of those stories, because that's what Arkleton Trust want to hear. They need to hear those stories coming from the mouths of the people themselves who've been affected by this work. So I'm going to ask over these next days I really want to know the thoughts and the experiences of you guys, of the EUPO team. So when Stella asks her questions, or whoever's asking the questions, ask them to you. Reflect on how it has been for you. Reflect on, what have you learned? What have you gained? Tell us some of the positives of what you've got out of your involvement in permaculture, in EUPO, and possibilities going forward. Maybe tell us about some of the challenges, some of the things that will, more that are more difficult or we haven't achieved yet. And then also think about what we might need, what we need to think about to enable us to go forward. So as we draw this part of this bit of the project to its, well, not to a close, but to this conclusion, is the most important thing that we can get is the feedback, is to get that experience from you guys, and then we'll convey that back to the trust so that they understand how that's gone, and we can together begin to think about what where we go next, what are our next steps, how do we carry on maintaining this network, and how do we carry on supporting each other. As for the participants of the course, we want to capture as many of their voices and stories as we can. And we know that certain individuals have been really active and have made a wonderful impact. So I'm fascinated by the idea of peer-to-peer learning, how we, we support someone not just to learn, but for them to become a teacher and to pass that knowledge on, without that knowledge being, should we say, dissipated, dissolved. We lose our focus. And the thing that I think about a lot is permaculture design. It's not the techniques. Permaculture is not the raised bed, the compost heap, the circle garden, whatever, the worm farm. Permaculture is the thinking, the design strategy, the decision making that then makes us understand and value those components, the swales and raised beds and so forth. So, and in permaculture education, that's actually why I focus a lot on David Holmgren's principles and ethics, is because more than a set of techniques, it's a way of thinking and a way of problem solving, and that's what I hope that we can send. That's the message that we want to sort of send out to people. Is to challenge and encourage and empower people to think for themselves, to problem solve for themselves, not to become reliant on us as teachers or as providers, but to enable them to be able to go forward in their own sort of permaculture pathway, shall we say. So thank you for listening, and thank you for your hard work, and thank you for everything and let's celebrate being where we are now. We've come this journey. We've touched and affected a great many people, and if we do this right, we can enable that process to carry on. And so I invite you all to share your story, whether you want to write some things down, whether you want to do a voice interview, a short, nice voice interview, or maybe something to camera, or maybe a little bit of both. But help us learn, help us share that experience, and we'll try and compile this together. And we will use the knowledge and the feedback that you give us through this process. That's how we will find out our best way to support you guys, to take this forward. If we can go out and seek more funding, we will, or more support, we will go and look for it. It's never a magic bullet, but what we need always is to, remember your principle 4 in permaculture about, nature runs on feedback, and we need your feedback. We need to sort of harvest the learning, and with that, we will go forward. So enjoy. I've sent, we printed a certificate to go on the wall just to remind you of our friendship, of our connection. And I know Stella has also come with overalls and seeds and various things to support and continue your work. So you're so welcome, and I thank you, and please enjoy. and I hope you have some nice food and some drinks there, and we can celebrate what we've done, and then begin to think about where we're going to go next and what we're going to do next. So from me, from Sector 39, from Team Wales, Arkleton Trust, thank you everyone, and we shall see you soon.